Charlotte, hello world, and welcome back to Charlotte Talk Zone. I am your host, Alicia Sharde, and we have a good time planned for you. So sit back, get comfortable, and enjoy the show. Stepping into the zone today, we have 3 Charlotte local influencers that all bring amazing talents and gifts to the Queen City. Join us as we connect with comedian Tara Brown, musician Charles 360, and the love doctor himself, Eddie Love. Our first guest specializes in clean comedy that's suitable for the whole family. Ladies and gentlemen, Tara Brown. Tara, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Alicia, for having me.
I'm so excited to talk with you. So we're going to jump into this. Now, Tara, you've been in comedy for over 7 years.
I have.
How did that journey start for you?
You know, it's funny. People always say to me, I think it's wonderful that you're living your dream. I'm like, not really, though. I just kind of fell into comedy. It was a happy accident. I, one day, was looking for something to do. And I Googled things to do in Charlotte, and comedy school class popped up.
Nice.
And I thought, you know, I think I'm funny. People said I'm funny. Why not? So I went and took a 7-week comedy class at the Comedy Zone here in Charlotte.
Awesome.
And for 6 weeks, you learn the basics and techniques and things. And then on week 7, you get to perform in front of your friends and family, which is a phenomenal show. And it's the best show you'll ever have in comedy because everyone's there to root you on. So even if you fall on your face, they're like, but look how she fell. It's so wonderful. But then you get out in the real world and you're like, where's all the love? So, but I've been having a blast, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that came your way because you're so amazing at
Thank
what
you.
you do. Now, Tara, I generally consider myself to be a funny person, but I don't think I could stand in front of a crowd for hours and entertain. How do you do it every time so gracefully?
Well, gracefully I don't know about, because one time I fell off of a stage and that was not graceful at all. But more often than not, you found little techniques. Like I like to eat blueberries before a show because blueberries are good for your memory, so it helps me to remember my set. And then I do great breathing techniques, like I do the 6, 7, 8 method where you breathe in 6 seconds, hold it for 7 seconds, breathe out for 8 seconds 3 times. That tends to help and center me. And then once I heard on a podcast a comedian say before a show, he stands in the back of the room and murmurs to himself, I'm the funniest person here, I'm the funniest person here. So I kind of adopted that a little bit, and that helps. And then I also heard once that nervousness and excitement pulls from the same place in your brain. So if you keep telling yourself you're excited, you will be excited. So people see me at shows in the back room mumbling to myself, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. And then I kind of talk myself into it. So, yeah.
Awesome. Love that, love that, love that. Now, Tara, who's your inspiration? There are so many amazing comedy legends out there.
Yes.
Who is it that you pull your inspiration from?
You know, it's interesting because I am a comedian who only works clean, but I believe that you learn from everyone. Yes. So for me, the best to ever do it was Eddie Murphy. Like I adore Eddie Murphy. So I love watching his stand up. I like people like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, I admire what he's done to take comedy and just, you know, catapult it into other areas. But what he's also good at from a standpoint, it's good from a stand-up standpoint, is he does something that we call callbacks in comedy very, very well, and I like that.
Now, what is that exactly?
A callback is like if I say something in the beginning of my set, and then at the end of my set, I reference it in a way that you don't see coming, and you're like, I see what you did there. So he's really good at that. I love smart comedians and comedians who make you think. Dave Chappelle, masterful. I love the ladies. Got to give some love to the ladies. I love Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. I love them. And then you will always catch me watching some Will Ferrell movie because I adore Will Ferrell. So I like to pull from a lot of different places.
Love it, love it, love it. Now, Tara, what's next for you? You have so many things coming your way, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm very excited because I taped last November, I believe it was, a dry bar comedy special, and that's going to be released later this summer. So I'm really excited about that because for a clean comedian, dry bar is kind of the pinnacle of what you want on your, not the pinnacle, but it's on your bucket list of things you hope to achieve. So
Absolutely.
I'm really excited for people to get a chance to see that. And then on a more local level, I am hosting and producing my baby, as I call it, a clean comedy brunch show that I do from time to time at the Comedy Zone here in Charlotte on August 8th at 3:30. And that show is so special because I design it for all ages. So parents can bring their kids, they don't have to worry about questionable content. And I always tell the performers who I have on that show, there's no profanity, vulgarity, and innuendo on my show. So if you can't tell your joke to your pastor or your mama, you can't tell it at my show.
Don't say it out loud.
Don't say it at my show. So it's going to be a fun afternoon. And, you know, I always tell the story when I first did that show, I invited all of my friends and everything, and my coworker brought his 8-year-old daughter. And this little girl looked like she did not want to be there. I was trying to hug her, and she was like, "Get away from me, I don't know you." But then after the show, she comes up and gives me the biggest hug. She goes, "That was amazing." I said, "You had fun?" She goes, "I had so much fun." So she's my why. Yes. So it's a fun afternoon, and I would love for you and your family to come and join us.
We will be right there.
Yeah, and so if anyone's interested in that, like I said, Sunday, August 8th at 3:30 at the Comedy Zone, and you can go to cltcomedyzone.com for tickets.
Awesome. Well, Tara, we are at Charlotte Talk Zone. We'll be front and center, right there supporting you. I hope you guys come out as well. And if you want to stay up to date with Tara and just find out what she's up to next, go ahead and connect with her on social media. We're going to list all that so you can join her. But Tara, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Alicia, for having me. And I just want to say to you, congratulations on the show and for what you're doing to put our stories out there and to connect people to wonderful things happening in the community. So much continued success to you.
Absolutely. And she's going to be back. We're going to see you again.
You
have to come back, especially when it's closer to that show coming out. We want to hear all the details.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. And guys, stay tuned. We have some more great content coming up. Stay tuned.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Charlotte Talk Zone.
Is lighting up the Charlotte scene with his soulful sound. Please welcome musician Charles 360. All right, welcome back, Talk Zone Universe. We're here now with Charles 360, a local musician in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charles, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's great. Thank you so much for contacting me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you have so many amazing things coming, and we're going to get into all of it. But first, Charles, tell us a little bit about how you became a musician. You do it all. You sing, you play the sax, you play the guitar. Tell us how that started.
It's just all over, honestly. It's kind of where the nickname came from, 360, because I was just doing a lot of things all the time. I like to draw, I play a lot of sports, play a lot of instruments. I was in a lot of bands in school, obviously, starting out. And then around 9th or 10th grade, I just really wasn't in love with the kind of music that we were playing, you know, a lot of Saints Go Marching In kind of stuff. So wanted to have a little more fun. So I ended up quitting, but I joined bands and played a lot on the streets, like in subway stations and stuff like that, just playing saxophone and playing along to the radio and gaining an ear for music. Picked up my sister's bass guitar, and the rest kind of is history. I've just been picking up random instruments and playing them since then. So.
I love it. We love it. So you do so much. And what is your favorite element of music?
The element of music that I admire the most is the ability to bring people together. Yeah. The energy that music creates when you're playing alone and you feel the energy and the communication with people, or when you're playing with other musicians, the energy on the stage that you're then sharing with people who are listening. It's something you can't really describe, but everybody knows what it is when you feel that, when you hear a good song, or when you're at a concert or the bass just drops, or that energy that music can create with people, something that I love most about it.
Oh, I love it. And I've seen your shows, and you are so wonderful. So I'm excited for everything to come. Now, Charles, every musician has a dream place to play. It's like when I play this particular venue, I know I've made it.
Yeah.
What is that venue for you?
It's got to be Red Rocks in Colorado.
Colorado,
Yeah,
yes. Shout out to Colorado.
Yeah, I was born in Colorado, so shout out to Aurora. Yeah. But yeah, the view, I've seen a lot of pictures of Red Rocks. The view, like from the stage looking out, is just so beautiful, and to have full crowd or even just 10 people there if I'm playing at Red Rocks, I know I made it.
Yes.
So.
Well, listen, we know you're going to get there, okay? We know you're going to get there. Now, Charles, who do you gather your inspiration from? Who do you pull your energy from? There's so many amazing musicians out there. Is there someone that you just listen to, that you just draw all of that inspiration from?
It would be John Mayer, and it's not really musically, it's more just the way that with each of his albums he's able to transform his sound and change the direction that he is. He still sounds like the same artist, but the stylings and the way that he plays is so different. And now even seeing him with Grateful Dead, he's just an amazing player. Just whatever style of music that he plays, and to be able to adapt that well is something that I would really want to be able to do as a musician.
Absolutely.
So.
Big fan of ours too. Big fan of
Absolutely.
ours. Now, Charles, what's next for you? You have a couple projects coming up, and I'm ready to hear about this, but what is next for you?
So next immediately is tonight. I'm playing at the Whitewater Center here in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is going to be a blast. Last time we played there was St. Patrick's Day, and it was just wild. They painted the river green, and it was a lot of fun. But as far as musically, the band that I'm in, Akita, we're dropping an album in August. So that's going to come out, and then my solo album is going to be coming out in December as well with a trio that I've been recording with. So very excited to share all this music, all this hard work that we've been putting in. So.
Oh, and it's so needed. It's so needed. And we cannot wait to see what's next. Now, Charles, I'm sure some of the viewers are going to want to know, and I'm sure some of the fans are going to want to know, is there a Miss Charles in your life?
Yes, yes, there is. Yes,
awesome,
there is.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So, ladies, he's not on the market.
Sorry. I'm having a kid in September as well.
Awesome.
Yes, so I've been blessed.
Another little musician joining the family.
I'm not gonna push it. But if I see my kid just randomly hitting things to a beat, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's a drummer right there.
You know where it's from. You know where it's from. Well, Charles, thank you so much for being here. We are just excited for everything that's coming your way, and we look forward to following your journey.
Yeah.
And if you want to follow his journey as well, be sure to connect with him on all his social media platforms. Concerts are coming up. Just stay on the lookout. Charles, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, the Love Doctor himself. Stay tuned.
Stick around for more Charlotte Talk Zone after this.
This next guest is a staple in the Queen City, a man of many talents and many words. Welcome, Eddie Love. All right, here we are with Eddie Love. Eddie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Now, Eddie, you've been coined the millennial influencer. Tell us how you got that name.
I got the name the millennial influencer. Well, I pegged myself as the millennial influencer, and it was a branding technique. When I wrote my first book in 2014, the book titled Escape from Poverty, 28 Ways to Win at Life, I decided to brand myself and build a digital footprint. And I thought about, or I looked in the mirror and said, who am I? What do I represent? What am I all about? And as a millennial, being born in 1982, I turned 18 in the year 2000, and you think about how technology and how just the world has changed since then, and the impact of social media and the impact of influencers and millennials is still today, it's still true today. When you look at the workforce, millennials are your C-level managers. I mean, they're the movers and shakers when you think about the economy and things like that. So I wanted to pick an impactful word. And when you think about influencers now, everybody's using that term. I mean, you had your YouTubers and things like that back then, but now influence is pretty
common.
popular. Yeah, so I like to think of
Right.
myself as the first.
You're the first. You're the first. Awesome. Well, I mean, that's a great story, and we love hearing it, and we cannot wait to see what's next. Now, you're doing a lot in the Charlotte community, and you have been for quite some time. And you actually co-founded, or you founded with your wife, so technically the co-founder,
That's
she's
right,
the
that's
founder,
right.
the
Absolutely.
Black Charlotte Business Coalition. Now, this is a group with over 6,000 members, and they're professionals in the Charlotte community. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, after moving to Charlotte in 2002, I thought about one of the things that you hear a lot is nobody's from Charlotte, right? And it's true. So when I do meet a person from Charlotte, I keep them close. You know, I always make the joke that they're like endangered species, right? But it was a group that I started to make sure that we had resources and people knew about resources, events. We can establish buying power, political power, different things that would move the bar forward for African Americans in Charlotte. And again, myself being from outside of Charlotte, I consider myself a Charlottean now. And it was another way to serve my community. So my wife and I founded the group in 2016, and it quickly grew. We had our first convention. We had the inaugural convention, I think, in 2017 after the first year, and it just blew up from there. So now city officials, people from different races, ethnicities, because it's all inclusive, and people are now aware of some of the restaurants and different services and small businesses that are out there in Charlotte. So it's a really good networking tool, though, because you get a lot of information about events, different social gatherings going on in Charlotte. So I like to think of it as a good resource for Charlotteans.
Absolutely, and make sure you head on over and follow that group.
Absolutely.
Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome. Now, Eddie, you are the epitome of the family man. Your social media, everything about you, your story, you beautifully represent your family.
Thank you.
And you and your wonderful wife of 14 years, you all have an amazing project coming up together. Give us the details. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Shout out to my wife, Shapira.
Yes.
Yes, we have a project called Champagne Lovers. It'll be a podcast that she and I will host. It'll primarily be about love, life, relationships, but we'll just have positive, healthy dialogue between a husband and wife and talk about everyday things. Share tips, share business tips, to family tips, just whatever it is, you name it. It'll just be us having a good conversation. So we got some nice little things planned for it. We do want to eventually put everything on YouTube and bring a camera in and start videoing some of that content, sharing a lot of content. So we're looking forward to it, though. Champagne Lovers.
Champagne Lovers. Well, I am excited for that, and you have to come back closer to that time and give us some more details.
Absolutely.
We're going to be looking for you to come back. Now,
Absolutely.
Eddie, what's next for you? In addition to this podcast you've come in, what's next?
One of the things that's next, let me say this about Champagne Lovers, about the podcast. The most
Yes.
important thing we'll be doing is reviewing champagnes. So we are going to actually do a champagne review each episode.
Oh, yes.
And the whole concept of that name came from the fact that champagne is always thought of as something to celebrate, right?
Absolutely.
And in life, you always have to have reasons to celebrate.
Yes.
So it's not just about drinking
Yes,
or getting
no.
drunk or having fun, but the main
meaning
concept,
behind
yes,
it.
it's about celebrating life and celebrating love. So I had to put that in there, but
Yes.
champagne reviews, look out for that. So we'll be recommending some bubbly. But what's next is, again, my wife and I will start doing a lot of different projects with Champagne Lovers. With that, we'll do some conferences, relationship workshops, seminars, vendor shows. So a lot of different things will be centered around the family. We want to keep that whole movement going, strengthen the Black family. Being a husband, being a father, I think is very important to stay in the community and be a leader. So you'll see a lot of leadership workshops and things like that coming from me. Outside of that, having the 2 books out there, thinking about writing another one. I got extreme writer's block, but a lot of creativity, a lot of other creative things happening. So
Yeah.
I want to do some things around the first 2 books, Escape from Poverty, with the youth. So still continuing my work in the community. Using Escape from Poverty as a resource. And then the second book, Let's Talk About Love, there'll be some different things from a relationship standpoint. I don't consider myself an expert. I hate to use that.
That's okay.
But definitely want to give some good perspective on relationships. So some other projects will be coming up with that.
Well, we can't wait, and we are here for it all. And we
Thank you.
want you to be a regular on this show. So when
Absolutely.
you have something coming out, please come and share it with our viewers.
Absolutely.
Eddie, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being
Thank you for
here.
having me.
Awesome. Now, if you want to stay up to date with Eddie and everything he has coming up next, please be sure to follow him on all his social media platforms. Again, Eddie, thank you so much. And we are looking forward to
Thank
this
you.
podcast that's
Absolutely.
coming.
Thank you.
Awesome. Guys, we're going to take a short break, but we will be back with some more things. Stay tuned, okay?
We'll be right back with more Charlotte Talk Zone.
Talk Zone Universe, it's always an honor to grace your presence. And to our guests, thank you so much for stepping into the zone. Comedian Tara Brown, local musician Charles 360, and Eddie Love. Thank you so much for being on the show. To stay up to date with our amazing guests, be sure to follow them on their social media sites.
If you have a story idea you'd like to see on Charlotte Talk Zone, drop us a line at info@charlottetalkzone.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.